Today, we will talk about Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States. Biden is a statesman with a long and distinguished political career, and he is a significant figure in American politics. He has served his country for many years and left a profound impact on American society. Welcome to the Just History YouTube channel. Joe Biden was born on November 20th, 1942, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, United States. His mother, Catherine Eugenia Finnegan, and his father, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., worked as a salesman. Biden grew up in a family of Irish descent alongside his 4 siblings. Scranton, at that time, was largely inhabited by families of Irish descent, and the Biden family was part of this community. His father instilled in him fundamental values such as hard work and a sense of justice, while his mother raised awareness in him about social justice, solidarity, and social equality. Biden's childhood was shaped not only by the influence of his family, but also by the multicultural nature of Scranton and the influence of the Catholic Church community. Biden received his education at St. Paul's Catholic Church in Scranton, where he learned the importance of both religious values and social responsibility. The church community taught Biden concepts such as empathy, solidarity, and neighborly relations. Additionally, young Biden was involved in many activities and projects with his classmates and teachers while attending St. Paul's School. Biden's childhood was also shaped by the social and economic structure of Scranton at that time. In the aftermath of the Great Depression, many families in Scranton were struggling financially, and this situation was reflected in Biden's family life and overall perspective. These challenges influenced Biden to demonstrate a sensitive attitude towards social justice and economic equality in his later years. In this context, Biden's birth was not just a date, but also a crucial period in which the foundations of his personal and political identity were laid. The multicultural structure of Scranton, the influence of his family, and his religious education played a critical role in shaping the values and ideals that Biden emphasized in his future political career. Whether Biden will run for re-election and who the Democratic Party's nominee will be are major points of interest. Here are some possible scenarios for the 2024 elections. Joe Biden's re-election. It is possible for Biden to run for re-election in 2024, but this decision may depend on various factors such as his health, public support, and political considerations. Biden may have the potential to both govern and play an influential role on the political stage during this period. Democratic Party nomination race. If Biden chooses not to run for re-election, several prominent Democratic politicians could emerge as contenders for the party's nomination. Leading Democratic figures include Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, and Pete Buttigieg. Each of these figures has their own support base and political vision, potentially initiating a nomination race within the Democratic Party. Republican nomination race. Similar to the Democratic Party, there is speculation about whether Donald Trump will run for re-election as the Republican Party's nominee. Alongside Trump, other prominent figures within the Republican Party include Ted Cruz, Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, and Ron DeSantis. Trump's candidacy or endorsement could significantly influence the Republican Party's strategy and the course of the nomination race. Campaign dynamics and issues. Several key issues could be decisive in the 2024 elections, particularly topics such as the economy, healthcare, climate change, race relations, foreign policy, and post-pandemic societal recovery are expected to shape the election dynamics. Additionally, the leadership style, character, and political experience of the candidates will also influence voter preferences. We are all eagerly awaiting what will unfold in the elections. Only time will tell. Take care of yourselves and see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Federal judicial system and judicial appointments. While serving on the Judiciary Committee, Biden also focused on the federal judicial system and judicial appointments. Through his work on the committee, he aimed to enhance the effectiveness of the federal judiciary and ensure fair trial processes. He also played a role in the appointment of judges to federal courts, contributing to various legislative reforms in this process. Education and healthcare policies. Biden was active in the areas of education and healthcare policies during his early years in the Senate. He developed various legislative proposals and regulations, particularly focusing on education reform and improving access to healthcare services. Biden advocated for reforms in education and healthcare policies, emphasizing the need for improvement in these areas. Primaries and nomination. Biden competed with other candidates in the 2020 Democratic Party primaries. His campaign faced some challenges, particularly after entering the presidential race in 2019. However, his success in the primaries led to his nomination as the party's candidate. Especially his significant victories in the Super Tuesday primaries in March 2020 marked a crucial step towards his nomination. Campaign themes and message. Biden's campaign focused on several key themes, including the COVID-19 pandemic, economic recovery, race relations, and climate change. These issues formed the central message of Biden's campaign, promising the American people unified leadership and societal healing. Campaign strategy and efforts. Biden's campaign transitioned many traditional campaign activities to digital platforms due to the pandemic. Virtual rallies, online fundraising events, and digital advertisements were key elements of Biden's campaign strategy. Additionally, Biden and his campaign team heavily targeted voters in swing states, actively engaging in efforts in crucial regions where elections were decisive. Election results and inauguration. In the November 2020 elections, Biden emerged victorious against his Republican rival Donald Trump. Following the elections, Biden assumed office as the President of the United States on January 20, 2021. His campaign was built upon an effective strategy and messaging that earned him leadership capabilities and the support of the American people. The 2024 United States presidential elections will be a significant event closely watched after Joe Biden's first term. Biden worked on legislative measures aimed at strengthening the federal government's role in combating crime, establishing himself as a leading figure in this area. In 1972, Joe Biden began his career in federal politics by transitioning from the Delaware Senate to the U.S. Senate. At the age of 30, Biden became one of the youngest members of the Senate at the time. He actively participated in committees such as the Foreign Relations Committee and the Judiciary Committee, where he served as chairman. Throughout his Senate career, Joe Biden specialized in areas such as foreign policy, law, and crime prevention. He was particularly influential in shaping U.S. relations with the Soviet Union, nuclear arms control, and America's role in international affairs during his tenure on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. In the Judiciary Committee, he focused on issues like crime prevention, criminal justice reform, and the federal judicial system. Biden's Senate career also included significant contributions to the drafting of various bills and policies. Particularly in the 1990s, he played a key role in crafting the 1994 Crime Control Act, aimed at strengthening the federal government's role in combating violent crime. Additionally, he was actively involved in reforming the federal judicial system and judicial appointments. Throughout his Senate career, Biden emerged as a prominent figure within the Democratic Party, holding various positions in the party's leadership. He was also known as an advocate for bipartisan cooperation and a culture of compromise in the legislative process. Biden's Senate career showcased his political leadership and legislative skills, providing him with the experience and visibility that would later pave the way for his election as President of the United States. Here are the key highlights of Joe Biden's early Senate activities: foreign policy and international relations. Biden showed a keen interest in foreign policy and international relations from his early years in the Senate. He worked on issues related to U.S.-Soviet relations, nuclear arms control, and America's international role. During this time, amid the end of the Cold War, he sought to adapt to changes in international relations and shape U.S. foreign policy strategies, crime prevention, and criminal justice reform. In the early years of his Senate career, Biden focused on crime prevention and criminal justice reform. He actively sought solutions to rising crime rates in America during the 1970s and 1980s.